Okay, so I feel like this episode is going to be a bit of a mess, but we're gonna try and just work through it. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Taylor and this is The Lass in Linen. Today we are doing episode 2 of The Lass Makes, and oh boy has it been a long time since I made episode 1, frankly. Yeah, a lot has happened, a lot has changed. I have no excuse other than it's just been a lot going on. So, oh man, to be totally honest, I don't fully remember what I talked about in episode 1, and I probably should have watched that before I filmed this, but I'm just gonna go with it. And what we're gonna do today is, as usual, it's gonna be really casual, and I'm just gonna talk through some of the things I finished, because I do have some finishes. I'm gonna talk through what I'm currently working on, and then some things that I want to start in the nearish future. I'll talk through some things that I've ordered, some kind of newer things that I've gotten recently, and I'm also gonna give a shop update because we've got some cool stuff coming to the shop. We've got some cool things. And I've been making lots and I've got lots of plans, so I thought I'd share some of that with you as well. Ooh, that is good tea. So without further ado, grab your drink of choice, maybe a warm drink. It is November, although if you're in the southern hemisphere, it's spring now, so maybe something cooling. I don't know, something comforting. Grab your drink, maybe grab a snack. This might be a little bit long. And let's get into the craft tube, floss tube, knitting, general creativity podcast that this is. Okay, tea down. Let's talk through finishes first. So I just want to say I think I have one finish to show you, because I do remember showing you this project in my last video. And I can't remember what else I have finished, if anything, frankly. But I do have one finish to show you. Now, I just want to say, before I show you this, it's not an FFO, and the reason it's not an FFO is, for the life of me, I cannot find a frame for this piece that's the size that I want. So I'm gonna have to probably get it custom framed, which is fine, but Christmas is coming up, money's a little bit tight, so I'm just going to show you the finished piece without the frame, but eventually it will be framed and hung up in this room. And that is my autumn sampler by Historical Samplers, I want to say. I'll link everything, or as much as I can link, down below, but this is the finished piece. I'll do like a cutaway shot of things so that you can get a better look at them. But this is the finished piece. I finished this a month ago? Maybe 2 months ago actually. Now, it's a little while ago anyway. I am really happy with how this turned out. It's the autumn. I was obviously hoping to have it hung up by now because it's the autumn sampler. But that's okay. That's all right. It is what it is. This is my biggest project to date for cross stitch, and I think it's only my second cross stitch project as well, but I am so happy with the way it turned out. It's maybe not the neatest. There's probably things I could have done better. I definitely should have ironed it. I maybe should have a board. I'm not a professional floss tuber, but I did want to show you it finished because I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm looking forward to getting it hung up. It was a relatively easy chart to follow, and I got this as a kit, so it came with all the threads. I believe they were just DMC threads, and the linen, and well, not linen, the Aida, and everything else. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. I loved making this. It was a lot of fun. It took me a long time, but I don't tend to rush through projects necessarily. So yeah, I enjoyed making that, and I'm looking forward to getting it framed and hung up and kind of ready to go in the future. And then one other small finish that I have is, as does usually happen in the fall. I get very yarn focused. I want to like crochet and I want to knit, and it's just something that I really enjoy doing. I think a lot of crafters do that. A lot of people who work with yarn find that in the autumn it's just the perfect time to be crocheting and knitting. So I got to work on some mug coasters, which I really love. This was my first one. And once again, I will probably do cutaways for most things if I can't give you a really good look just like this. But these are just little floral mug coasters. I love them. I'll actually put my mug on one right there. I love them so much. I love how they the petals of the scalloping around the edge kind of curls up under the mug, and it's really cute, and they're kind of nicer than just normal mugs. I think adding textiles to a room, even just little things like this, just makes it really nice and warm and inviting. So this was my first one, so it's not none of them are perfect, but this was my second one, and I really enjoyed doing this one. They're just really fun, and they're really cute, and they're a very quick project. They're probably something that I think I'm going to make for a couple Christmas gifts. I'm not going to say to who, just in case. I don't think the person I'm planning on making them for would ever watch my videos, or YouTube in general. But yeah, I enjoyed making them, and yeah, I just think they're really cute and really fun. So I finished those. So I do actually have some sewing finishes, but those are going to go in my shop update at the end of the video, so keep watching for that. I'm going to start talking about my whips, because I have some whips that I am super excited about, one of which I know I talked about in my first episode of the last makes. So I will get to that one eventually, but the first one I'm going to show you is actually my current cross stitch whip. So my current cross stitch project, I have the paper here, so I will show you a photo of the kind of finished project, and then I'll show you how far I am. I'm not very far at all, just a heads up, but it's this Jane Eyre inspired cross stitch. It's got a quote and then the actual character of Jane Eyre on it. Jane Eyre is one of my favorite classic books. I don't think I got to study it. Did I study it in uni? No, I didn't get to study it in university, but I've read it a few times, and I will actually be rereading it on audio this winter, just because it's kind of the perfect book for this time of year. So I have made a start on this. I actually made this start a little while ago. Oh, I lost my needle minder. No, needle minder down, but aside from that, I have gotten a start. So this is stitched on, let me double check because I'm going to get this wrong on what count linen this is stitched on. This is stitched on 32 count Zweigart Belfast linen in cream. Yeah. And this is how far I've gotten. So not far at all, just the title, and I've gotten started on the border, but clearly haven't finished yet. This is the first time that I'm stitching on linen. My other 2 or 3 projects that I've done before have always been on Aida, and I have to say, I am so enjoying the linen. I am such a convert for this linen. I love it. It's really enjoyable. I love the way the project is looking. It's got that real kind of primitive, old style cross-stitch look to it, and I just love that. I can't wait to frame it and put it up in this room with my library. I think it's going to look fabulous next to my shelves. I got this design off of Etsy from the Little Stitcher, who has a ton of literary inspired cross-stitch patterns, so I highly recommend that you check out her shop. I bought it a while ago, but I do remember messaging her and asking a question, and she was really quick to respond and super kind. So as well as having some truly incredible patterns, just a really nice person to interact with as well. Highly recommend, and yeah, really enjoying this project so far. I just realized that I had another finished item to share with you guys. I'm like getting surprised by all my finished items while I'm looking through my bags. But I decided that I needed a project bag. So I watched the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch project bag tutorial, which I think is like famous on FlossTube by now because it's such a good tutorial. And I made this wonderful project bag, and I also made a matching notions bag to go with it. So this is actually full of thread for a project that I am hoping to start soon, which I will share with you guys in a little bit. So I won't open it up, but they do match and they have matching linings as well. I love this thistle fabric. I cannot for the life of me remember where I got it, but I absolutely love the fabric and the colors. I did have a second one of the bag with a matching notions pouch in the shop, but it has just recently sold. So I'm hoping to make more bags. If you guys are interested in maybe buying some project bags, I could do that. But if you just want to make your own, which I think a lot of people do, I suggest the tutorial by Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. It is linked down below. I've been working on some other styles of project bags as well, kind of going off from what I learned in that tutorial. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's really, really cool. So I really enjoyed making that one. And then, like I said, I have been working with yarn quite a lot lately. So one of the projects I have started, and this is definitely a long-term project, is a granny stripe blanket. So this is one of the like scrappy ones. I've just been using whatever yarn I have left over or bits of mini skeins that I have, and this is it. I think actually that's the bottom. Yeah, this is it so far. So not very far along at all, but I just am loving how random it is and all the different colors. They're not necessarily like complimentary, they're just what I have, but I really love it. Like I said, this is a long-term project. This is something I'm going to be working on for a long time. Yarn is expensive and I don't have tons and tons, and I want to make sure that I have enough for my other projects first, but I'm just loving this scrappy blanket. I've seen them all over Instagram and I just think they always look really cool, no matter like the colors. So yeah, I've been working on this long term. Hopefully it'll be big enough, kind of like a throw size is what I'm hoping for, and I'll just continue working on that. But I've really been enjoying it. It's one of those great kind of mindless projects as well, so it's something I can do while watching TV or watching a movie, because I get quite fidgety if I'm watching stuff and I don't have something to do with my hands. So I like to work on that. But very excitingly, I also started a dream project of mine, and I know I talked about this in my last episode, so I can't wait to show you that I have finally started my first pair of socks. Oh, I'm so excited. This yarn is, I believe it's called the Morning Coffee yarn. I'll have it linked down below. I got all this stuff so long ago that I can't remember where I got it from. Okay, I actually just found the tag, so that's exciting. This yarn is from Ravenswood Fibre Co., which is in Nova Scotia, Canada, represent. And it is called Life Begins After Coffee. That's what it's called. And I love how this is knitting up. It's so cozy looking, and it does just look like a coffee. It just looks like a really nice coffee. Since this is my first pair of socks, I am doing the classic Crazy Sock Lady vanilla socks on DPNs for my first ever pair of socks. And I am just over halfway down the leg now. I've been working on this for a few days. I've been really, really enjoying knitting these up and learning this kind of new skill that I've never done before. Yeah, these have just been so much fun to knit. I'm hoping to have these done by the end of the month. We don't have too much going on this November, so I'm hoping that I will have these done by then. I am just a few rows from doing the heel flap and gusset, which I am very nervous about, but you know, hopefully we'll cross our fingers and everything will be okay. I will say I did have to restart these 4 times. To be fair, I didn't get very far, but there was a couple times where I lost the stitches off the DPNs. couple times where I miscounted. It's the first time it's certainly the first time I've knitted with a yarn this thin, plus super small DPNs, so the stitches are really small, and trying to get used to holding all 5 DPNs while working on them has been an adventure. But I have to say, now that I'm kind of in the swing of it, certainly in the leg, and when I was working, finally got into the swing of it for the cuff, it's so enjoyable. And it's another project that I do just while watching TV or, you know, just relaxing. I'm finding this so much fun. So wish me luck for the heel flap and gusset. I am nervous. I also I don't know, for some reason I'm really nervous they're not going to fit. I'm less worried about that because I'd rather just kind of get into the groove of making socks and worry about the fit later. But they look a little small. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if they fit. But yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to finishing this first one and seeing kind of how it goes. I'm just so excited that I actually started this project because it is the dream project, and it was the one creative thing that I really wanted to do by the end of the year. I wanted to have a pair of socks done, just one. So I think I've got 2 months from when I'm filming this. I think I can get 1 pair of socks done, hopefully. We'll see how busy we get. I also have a quilt in the making, and to be honest, it's been in the making for quite some time. It's a gift from my mom, and that's why I'm not going to show it. She knows it's being made and she's helped to pick out the fabrics, but I'm not going to show what it looks like because I want it to be a surprise. It was supposed to be done a long time ago, and I think now it's just going to be a Christmas gift. But I will show a picture of it when it's done. Hopefully not too distant future. It's quite a big quilt, and it's got pinks and reds and whites because those are colors that she really likes in her home. I've also started cutting blocks for a new patchwork quilt just for Lewis and I. Nothing major, but it's going to be just a mix of different fabrics, different colors, different prints. I wanted like a truly kind of random quilt. And then in addition to that, I will hopefully be starting a log cabin quilt. I love them. I think that also is going to be a long-term project because I want the squares to look different, and that's quite a lot of fabric, and obviously the cost adds up, and I'm trying to be mindful of how much that's going to cost and how much room it can take up. But I would like to make a log cabin quilt for Lewis and I. It's one of those traditional patterns that I just think would look really nice in our bedroom and would be a nice thing to have as well. So hopefully I'll be starting that fairly soon. And then lastly, for projects, I just wanted to talk through a project I am hoping to start soon and maybe get some advice as well. So I do have a picture here, but I'm sure you guys know, a lot of you will know what this looks like. If you don't, I will put up a picture because this is quite small. But I recently purchased the Consider the Lilies pattern, cross-stitch pattern by Heartstring Samplery, who is owned, and most of the designs are designed by Beth Twist. This is a huge project, huge. And it's based on the Consider the Lilies verse in the Bible, which I love. I believe is Matthew. Yes, it's in Matthew. If you, like I said, I'll put a picture up, but if you see it, it's just such a massive, beautiful project, and I think it would just be really fun to do. She's actually got like a sister project to this. So the first, Consider the Lilies, is the second one and is the sister project to His Eyes on the Sparrow, I want to say it's called, which is another Bible verse, and it's just, they're both beautiful. I want to do both of them eventually. So I have bought most of the yarns. I couldn't get my hands on some of the yarns because they were sold out, and some of them don't ship to the UK. So I will be doing the DMC swap for the yarns that I couldn't get, but I've bought most of the called for yarns. The only thing I'm having trouble with is finding the linen, because I need a huge piece of linen. And the linen that she uses in the project is beautiful, but one seems to be either sold out or not being produced anymore. and 2, very expensive. So I would like a linen of a similar color, and obviously the same count, but it doesn't have to be the exact same one. I'm just looking for a piece that is big enough for the project, because most pieces that you get from craft shops are not big enough. So if anybody has any recommendations on where I can get a massive piece of linen for this project, that would be fabulous. This will be linked down below, so if you need to know the dimensions, it'll be all down below in the link. But yeah, that's the only thing I really need to get started. So any recommendations, any suggestions would be very much welcome, because I am having a problem finding a big enough piece of linen for this project. So I will show you now some things I recently purchased that I'm excited about. Obviously, since the last episode, I've purchased quite a lot, but these are just things that have been recently purchased that I'm looking forward to showing you. So the first thing actually came in the post today, and this is a quilting book. It's the complete book of patchwork and quilting, and I will be honest, I don't have any recollection of buying this, but I must have done, because it's here. And, you know, it'll be very useful. So that's what it looks like. I don't think, does it have an editor? Yeah, it doesn't say that they're, oh, editor, Valerie Jackson. Cool. So it's edited by Valerie Jackson. It's just about quilting and patchwork, but they also have a lot on making templates for kind of unusual shapes and designs, which is really useful for me. I've not done proper, what's it called? Oh, the word is escaping me, but it's basically when you have like unusual shapes and designs on applique. Thank you. Yes, I've not done proper applique, but they do have applique shapes that you can trace, or I guess you could cut out. I probably wouldn't, but you could. Here are some patchwork templates that they have, which will be particularly helpful, and some applique templates that they have in here, and they just have some examples of some really nice different patchwork variations, projects that you could do, things to practice. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to having a good flip through and seeing what's inside. Like I said, it came in the post today, so I haven't had a proper opportunity to look through it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I don't remember buying it, but I'm glad I did. I also have some fabric to share with you guys. So like I said, I am hopefully in the somewhat near future going to be working on a log cabin quilt, and to help along with that, I bought this layer cake. Is that what it's called? I think it's called a layer cake of fabric. This is the cranberries and cream pattern layer cake from Moda. Jelly roll, that's what it is. It's a jelly roll. And it's so pretty. It's just got all these reds and creams and a few grays. And I just think it's gonna look so nice. This is designed by 3 sisters, I believe. But it's a Moda jelly roll. And so it's got the 2.5-inch strips, which will be really helpful when cutting out strips for my log cabin quilt, and then any leftovers that I might have, I'll hopefully be making some like patchwork stuff with, or saving for different kinds of projects. I also got some fat quarters and some fabric by the yard, so I'll show you guys those. The first one is this Anne of Green Gables one. It has little motifs on it that kind of harken back to Anne of Green Gables, so you've got a little kind of sideways profile of Anne, there's books, teacups, Green Gables in the snow. So this is Green Gables at Christmas. There was an Anne of Green Gables collection of fabric that came out, and I want it so bad. I wanted like the collection of fat quarters so badly, and there are some very reasonably priced collection of fat quarters on Etsy, but the shipping from the States is real. It's like, there was one that I think was like 40 quid, but to get it shipped from the States was like 50 pounds or something ridiculous. I couldn't afford it. It makes me really sad. But I was able to find this Christmas at Green Gables fabric at a UK based shop. So I did get a fat quarter of this, I believe, and it's really cute. I can't wait to make something out of it for Christmas. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it yet, but it will definitely be turned into something. I also got a fat quarter of this red and white floral fabric, which I really like. I have a really bad habit of just buying nice fabric and not really knowing what I'm going to do with it yet, but I have a few projects that I might do with this. This could make a really nice bag or some kind of accessory. I'm not sure yet, but I loved it and I just thought it looked really cute. It kind of reminded me of the more primitive fabrics that you tend to find in the US. I wish we had more of that kind of primitive Amish style printed fabrics in the UK. They're a little bit harder to find and they are my favorite, so it gets a bit difficult, but I did like this and that kind of reminded me of that. And then I found this gorgeous fabric. I do know what I'm going to make with this, and it's this kind of more muted tone color palette fabric. I love this, and I think I'm going to make either a bag to keep art supplies in or some kind of paintbrush roll out of this, because I just think it's beautiful and it's screaming to be used for some kind of bag or holder or something for art supplies and painting stuff. So yeah, I love it so much. So it's definitely a project bag type of fabric. And then, like I said, I really like that kind of primitive, old-fashioned, kind of Amish style fabric, and I was able to find a little bit at a UK store. I can't remember where I bought this. I bought this so long ago, but I found this navy floral that I love so much. I've got a few ideas for these fabrics, but I found this navy floral, which is stunning. I found kind of a cream, almost arts and crafts William Morris style floral, which I also adore and have a few things in mind. And then this more kind of ditzy floral, creamy, beigey one. This is like my style of printed fabrics that I love to use in quilting, in bags, just different types of stuff that I want to make. This is like my style, so if anybody knows of places in the UK that sells that type of fabric, please let me know, because that is my favorite. And then the last bit of purchases I wanted to show you were some cross stitch patterns. So these are all by the Blue Flower. I went a little Blue Flower crazy. I feel like I've just discovered them and I love their patterns so much. So I bought 3. And the first one that actually drew me into the Blue Flower was the Tudor Bee. This is very popular. I feel like a lot of people have made this. The Tudor Bee is just beautiful. It's like a wee pillow project. It's a tiny cross stitch. I do think I'm going to try and make it into a pillow like it is here, although I could frame it, I suppose, as well. And along with the Tudor Bee, I got the Quilting Bee, because of course I did. Once again, I love this. They have it kind of in a quilted square and framed here, which is nice, but I kind of want to do these side by side, so I don't know if I should make it into a pillow or if I should frame them both. Let me know what you guys think. And then along with that, I got the Tudor Swan, which I'm definitely making into the wee pillow because it's just stunning. It's beautiful. Yeah, these kind of old style, Tudor style, they get me every time. I can't help myself. So I haven't bought any of the thread yet, or any of the kind of supplies to make the actual projects, but these I am hoping to start and finish fairly soon so that we can get them hung up and put around the house, because they are gorgeous. Oh, I almost forgot, actually. I have some fabric back here, and this is a good segue. This is fabric that I will be making into some new products for the shop going up soon just in time for Christmas. So just 2 pieces of fabric I wanted to show you. I got this beautiful Christmas poinsettia fat quarter. I'm planning on making this into some Christmas decorations for the tree, and also a kind of quilt square that you can kind of do whatever you want. I'll be making one for myself and I think hanging it up on the wall, but you can put it wherever you would like to. So I love this. It's going to look really, really nice. I think I'm going to make a kind of sawtooth star quilted square, like I said, to be framed or hung up or just whatever you would like to do. You could even put it on the table as like a little centerpiece holder type thing. And then I also got some tartan, because of course I did. I love gingham and tartan and plaids. Once again, having a really hard time finding some good plaids this year in the UK, or tartans that are made in a fabric that aren't wool, I should say. But I got this really nice kind of red traditional tartan that I will be making into Christmas decorations. So I'm looking forward to making those and getting those up in the shop and shared with you guys. And then lastly, I thought I would just do a little shop update because I have put more things in the shop recently. So one of the things that I think I have 2 or 3 of these left, are these book sleeves. I made these out of the Toile de Joie French fabric that I bought a while ago, with just a plain navy blue on the inside. So they are handmade by myself. They fit a standard paperback size, but everything is in the listing if you want to check out my Etsy shop. The link is always down below. So I have a few of these left. I also designed my very first bookmark. So this has a William Morris quote on it that says, "Have nothing in your house that you do not know to be useful or believe to be beautiful." And then it's got all my logo and information on the back. Yeah, I absolutely love this. I designed it myself. I also recently designed my logo by myself. It took me hours. I am not a graphic designer. And I had to learn how to use the software to actually design it. It was like a whole thing, but I'm really happy with how these turned out, and they are available in my shop with free UK delivery. And then the last thing I wanted to show you, because I recently made these, are these scrunchie sets. I just have them in a bag here. But these are kind of autumn winter inspired scrunchie sets. I will show them to you. So I've got this kind of browny, greeny plaid and a navy and white corduroy floral scrunchie set. I love these. I might actually have to keep a set for myself because I haven't made a set for myself yet, and I just love the way these look. They also have free UK delivery if you're in the UK, and everything is linked down below. These are just a few of the things I wanted to show you as well. We've got tons of stuff. I recently made a lot of stitch markers and progress creepers, so if you're looking for anything like that, most of them are silver, some of them have enamel bits on them. Those are in my shop. We've got different kinds of home accessories, a few vintage pieces that I've sourced recently. So there's a really good variety of handmade things and vintage finds for around your home, for your own crafting needs, or kind of adornments for yourself if you're looking for that. Like I said, my Etsy shop is always linked down below, so please check that out if you are interested in anything. It supports me and helps me keep making my art. So albeit that felt a tiny bit chaotic, but I have really enjoyed filming episode 2 of The Last Makes and sharing with you some of my crafting adventures. Thank you so much for joining me. I'd love to know what you guys are working on, or if you have any ideas for anything that you've seen here, any of the fabric I showed you, or maybe some things that you're interested in seeing in my Etsy shop. Please do like and subscribe if you liked this video. It helps our channel grow and helps me to continue making more videos like this. I'd really love to make more YouTube videos. I appreciate you guys so much. I can't thank you enough for watching. I really hope that you're doing well and that you're staying cozy as the world gets a little bit cooler in the coming months, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, I hope you're enjoying spring. Be sure to leave a comment down below so that we can continue our crafting chat. But until next week, thank you for watching and Slàinte mhath.